Echoes of fear? The Arctic is a place of silence. The vast white expanse seems endless, with nothing but snow and ice stretching as far as the eye can see. It is a desolate, untouched world where time seems to stand still. But there is one thing about the Arctic that most people forget: it hides secrets. And sometimes those secrets are buried deep beneath the ice. The mission was supposed to be routine. A team of 6 researchers, all experts in various fields, was dispatched to drill into the ice to collect core samples. They were studying the effects of climate change, looking for microorganisms trapped in the ancient ice that might hold answers to the history of the Earth. They didn't expect to find anything dangerous, and they certainly didn't expect to awaken something that had been dormant for centuries. As they set up their base camp, a dull, heavy quiet settled over them. The wind howled around the camp, but the cold was so intense that it felt as though the world outside had been frozen in time. They were cut off from the rest of the world. The only sounds they heard were the crunch of their boots in the snow and the low hum of their drilling equipment. The first day went by without incident. The drilling equipment was running smoothly, and they began to pull up core samples from the ice. The layers of ice were thick, far older than they had anticipated, but they didn't find anything unusual. No signs of life, no bizarre anomalies. They had no reason to suspect that anything was amiss, but as the days wore on, the drilling began to take longer. The ice seemed to be resisting them. The machinery began to groan. The drill bits blunted with each pass. And that's when they hit something solid. It wasn't just the ice. It was as though they had drilled into something harder, something much older. The hum of the machine changed, becoming a deep, vibrating tone. At first, they thought it was just a mechanical issue, a glitch in the drill. But then it grew louder and louder. It was as if the ice itself was responding to their intrusion. They knew something was wrong, but they couldn't stop. They were too far in. "We need to stop," Sarah, the lead researcher, said. She had been at the controls, monitoring the drill's progress. Something's not right. Her warning came too late. The drill bit punched through the last layer of ice with a sickening crack, and the hum reached a deafening crescendo. Then it all stopped. Dead silence. The machines shut off on their own, the hum vanishing as if it had never been there at all. They all stood there for a moment, staring at the frozen landscape, unsure of what to do next. The air was thick with tension. But then, the screen on Sarah's laptop flickered. A faint, strange image appeared. It looked like a shadow, a dark shape beneath the ice. "I don't like this," Jake, one of the younger researchers, said, his voice tight with fear. "That doesn't look like any kind of microorganism we've been studying." Sarah leaned closer to the screen, her eyes narrowing. "It's not just a shadow," she said slowly. "It's something else." They all gathered around the laptop, watching in stunned silence as the shape beneath the ice began to move. At first it was subtle, a slow, undulating motion, like the movement of water beneath the surface. But then it grew more pronounced. It was massive, far larger than anything they had anticipated. "We need to get out of here," Sarah said, her voice cracking. "This isn't safe." But it was too late. The ground beneath them began to shake. A low rumbling echoed up through the ice, and the equipment began to tremble. Sarah could feel it in her bones. The ice was waking up. Something was emerging from deep within, something that had been buried for millennia. The creature, if it could be called that, was enormous. It was covered in thick, black, spiny scales that seemed to glisten in the dim light. Its shape was alien, unlike anything they had ever seen. It had no eyes, no mouth, but there was something terrifyingly alive about it, something ancient, something that had survived the ages only to be disturbed by their actions. And then the unthinkable happened. The ice cracked. A loud, splintering noise filled the air as the surface of the ice began to break apart. The creature beneath them was moving, pushing against the ice, its massive form shifting and squirming. It was like something out of a nightmare. It wasn't just alive, it was angry, and it was free. The team scrambled to evacuate, but the ice was cracking too fast. The ground beneath their feet began to collapse, and the frozen landscape seemed to shift around them. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she realized that they were trapped. They hadn't just disturbed something ancient, they had unleashed a force that could destroy them all. The last thing Sarah saw before everything went black was the creature's shadow rising from the depths of the ice. Its form loomed over them, a hulking mass of darkness, and its cold, hollow presence filled the world around her. It was no longer just a study. It was a fight for survival.